Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Will with the Padawan Pops YouTube channel, and today we're talking the Mandoverse movie and The Force Awakens. So I was reading a few Star Wars articles today, which I usually do just to see what's going on. And I came across an article today that I thought was super interesting that I wanted to share with you. So here, this is just a Screen Rant article. I'll put the link down in the description. So if you want to check out the whole article, definitely do that. It was a pretty good one. But this talks about a record that The Force Awakens has in the box office that most Star Wars movies will have a hard time breaking this record. And I think I had just forgotten how much money The Force Awakens made at the box office. So as we scroll through here, we'll see that The Force Awakens actually had a $2 billion box office. That's a lot of money. So if you look at the top five, lifetime grosses of all movies released, The Force Awakens actually comes in at number 5 with over $2 billion here. It's in pretty good company with Avatar, the Avatar sequel, Avengers, Titanic, and then right here is the other Avengers movie. I mean, these are some pretty good movies here, and Star Wars is right in the pack with them, or The Force Awakens is, and I had not realized that. I know there was a lot of hype to The Force Awakens, but I had just forgotten that it was like a top 5 movie of all time as far as money is concerned. But this article goes through that, and it talks about why The Force Awakens was such a big deal. I mean, it had been 10 years since we had Star Wars in the movie theaters, so it did have a lot going for it, but still, $2 billion. I can hardly believe that actually happened, considering how the next few Star Wars movies just made a little bit over $1 billion, and that one almost doubled it. So I'd forgotten that was a lot of money, but it says that the new movies may have a hard time breaking that record. I think that's a pretty safe prediction for someone to make, just because The Force Awakens is the top Star Wars movie. So for any Star Wars movie to break that, it's going to have to be the top movie as far as money goes. Now, I know these rankings aren't adjusted for inflation, so I think some of the older movies may actually be ahead of that, but just dollar to dollar, $2 billion is a lot. But I think the Mandoverse movie might actually be able to break $2 billion. And I have a few reasons why. First, if you look at that top 5 again, or top 6, 2 of the movies were Avenger movies. Now, the Avenger movies were, there's nothing like them as far as all of these different stories from different movies building up together into one big story. That's what we're going to see with this Mandoverse movie that's going to come out in a few years that Dave Filoni is making. It's going to be Ahsoka, it's going to be the Mandalorian, it's going to be Skeleton Crew. It will be all 3 of those stories building up together into one big New Republic movie, presumably against Thrawn being the bad guy. Now that's one big similarity. There's a lot of different television shows that are building a bunch of different stories into one grand finale. It worked with Avengers. I think it can work with Star Wars. Another thing is The Force Awakens did have a 10-year gap between Star Wars movies, and I think it's going to be pretty close to that between Episode 9 and whenever this Mandoverse movie comes out. The rumor is that the Rey movie will come out first, and that's still a few years down the road. So let's say the Rey movie does come first. I think there would be at least like 7 or 8 years in between, and if by some chance the Mandoverse movie came first, that movie's supposed to tie up the Mandalorian, and we know the Mandalorian has still got a few more seasons left. So I think there's going to be quite a bit of time in between it. So I think maybe the Star Wars fatigue could have worn off a little bit at the theater. That will help. But also, the Mandalorian has done pretty well. I think Grogu pretty much owned the internet for all of 2020. So I don't think that it will necessarily carry some of the baggage that the sequel trilogy carried. Right or wrong, those were polarizing, and so I think that may be why we saw those box offices numbers dwindle as we moved on into Episode 8 and then Episode 9, and then Solo was thrown in there. I don't think we're going to have the same issues with this Star Wars movie. So let me know what you think. Do you think the Mandalorian movie, whenever it comes out over the next few years, do you think it has a chance to beat The Force Awakens? Personally, I do. I think $2 $2 billion is a lot, but I also think that Disney and Star Wars is handling the Mandoverse very well, as opposed to maybe how they've handled other Star Wars projects. So I do think this is a possibility. So let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think the Mandoverse can top 2 billion? If not, why do you think it's not going to do that? Otherwise, thanks for joining. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're enjoying my content, and may the Force be with you.